going on, fellas? It's Monday Night Football, and I'm here to help you break down the slate. For all of you that don't know, new guy, I'm the Degenerate 75. I'm a high-limit DFS player who focuses exclusively on golf and football to help you not be so bad at DFS, because if you don't know, this shit be tough. As you can see, here's my schedule. The big guy stays busy, so if you like the cut of my jib, come check it out. I'd appreciate it. We're going to start where we always start. Oh my gosh, I have, you can see I was looking at the college football, because I do college football, so I was definitely checking out that slate. But let's get over here to NFL What Matters. Let's look at the Showdown slate tonight. I do want you to know I'm in the ear of DraftKings, and I'm telling them I'm pushing very hard to get me a $20 20 max. Each lineup's $20 for us, people that want just a little bit more than a $1 20 max, because 20 maxes are the nuts on these Showdown slates. So I'm in their ear. I think I might be able to get it done by 2023. That's the goal. But for tonight, here you go. You see this big $15 tournament? I'm going to tell you something I've never told you before. Look at me. Don't fucking play in it. It's a terrible tournament. Don't do it. But I'll win $500,000. No, you won't. No, you won't. Don't play in it. Just send me $15. I'll kick you in the nuts and we'll call it even. So what you need to do is you need to go look at the $20 3 max. You need to look at your $1, your $20, the $3 20 max. There we go. It's early, brother. It's early. Big guy's not used to being up this early. $5 single entries, 3 maxes. This is where it's at. I say this every show, but I will never stop preaching it, because contest selection is the first place you are blowing your money. Get the hell out of these fucking lotteries and go play in tournaments where you have a real chance. That is the first piece of advice I can give you. And I will say it you say that every show. Yeah, it's that important, donkey. Hey, did you know that I do a tournament every week completely free, and the winner, Hello Dustin, gets to make a free Millie Maker ticket with me this weekend? As you can see, he won. Kate Otten literally scoring the touchdown there at the end, jumped to my man Nick. So he is the winner. Me and him are making a Millionaire Maker contest, and all he had to do to get in that contest, literally nothing. He had to go down in the link of this video and click on it. As you can see, here's the contest. It's already up for week 10. It is in the description of this video. So, go check it out. Go check it out. It's very cool. And there's no strings attached. Not like you have to give me your email or any creepy shit like that. It's just a fun tournament to build the community. So go check it out. Also, while you're here, go like and sub, because I definitely passed 5,000 this weekend. Woo! We passed 5,000 between Twitter and YouTube. Almost to 1,800 over here on YouTube. So I'd appreciate a like and a subscribe. Feel free to follow me on Twitter. Also, I'd appreciate it, brother. By the way, drop comments, because I'm going to be doing multiple $100 giveaways, and one of the ways to get in that contest is just leaving comments. Just anything you want about the game tonight, anything. The more comments or retweets you leave, the more chances you're going to have to win those $100 giveaways. Let's get to the slate tonight. First thing, we have a 47-point line, which honestly, with all the injuries, is a quite surprisingly high line. And Baltimore is favored, which with all the people they have out, the fact that they're still favored should tell you all you need to know about the Saints. Am I right, Bob? So let's get to it. As you can see, we're just doing the generic inputs. This is Run the Sims, where I think it's the best tool-assisted site out there specifically for Showdown. Here's the optimals, right? It is showing that Alvin Kamara will be in the optimals 79% of the time tonight, yet he's only showing up as about 70% owned. So that would be a very positive leverage play, right? But this is where I really separate from all these other people that do Showdown content for NFL. Everybody says, here's your play. Here's your play. You got to play this guy. He's a good play. I don't say that. I say you need to make your lineups, instead of thinking about individual players, you need to think of them as a script, right? Like what guys fit into a script. And you need to build your lineup accordingly, right? If I can go tell you that Justin Tucker is a positive EV play tonight, but if Baltimore is getting blown out, well, he doesn't become a very good play, right? If this game turns into a shootout, he's not a very good play, because wide receivers can outpace a kicker very, very easily in higher scoring games. So it's more about the script than the pick. So all these people that say, you got to play this guy tonight, and you got to play this guy, just know that those are picks, and picks are great, and they can be really good. But if you're playing 2 picks that completely contradict each other, you're literally making such negative EV lineups, you're not going to win anyways, right? So what I encourage you to do is pick a script. How do you think this game's going to go tonight? I think a very viable script that not a lot of people are going to play is that that it's a sloggy type game, right? Maybe Lamar Jackson will not be that efficient with so many of his weapons missing, specifically his most important one, Mark Andrews, right? Not to mention his number 1 receiver. Rashad Bateman is out. He is missing some weapons. Gus Edwards is out. who is kind of a pounded between the tackles running back. So there's a lot of reasons to think that maybe Baltimore won't be that efficient on offense tonight. Now, even if they do spin their wheels, there's a good chance Lamar still ends up in the optimal, probably not as the captain, but definitely still as a very viable flex play simply just because of all the upside he offers with his legs. So maybe the play is to get Lamar Jackson in there, but to play him differently and to go play him as a flex and play him against 5 Saints, because there is a chance 5 Saints could get there if the Saints win this game something like 24-10 or something like that, right? 24-7. That would be a slate that would be a script that you could do that would be different than everybody else. Or you could just play, as I told you, the slog, play more defenses, kickers. In slogs, running backs tend to do better, right? Because in slogs, there's not as many PPRs, point per reception for the receivers. The quarterbacks aren't getting as many yards throwing to them. So in those cases, defense, kickers, running backs, and cheap tight ends tend to be really good in those kind of games. Here's another one for you. Maybe you say Baltimore is going to be highly efficient tonight, and the Saints suck because, they do have Andy Dalton as their quarterback. So a build that hardly anybody will go with is a 5-1 Baltimore build, and it'll be super affordable to do because you can put Lamar at captain. Any 2 of his pass catchers run the defense, and of course, always run Justin Tucker if you're running a 5-1 for Baltimore, and then you run it back with whatever Saint you like, Kamara. But I think the one that no one's going to play, and probably my favorite, is going to be the shootout script, right? Both of these teams, people that can't shoot out, Lamar's missing all his weapons, and Andy Dalton sucks, and these teams like to run and play slow. Okay, that most of those things are actually true. But all you need is your script to be right, 1 out of 20 times, especially if it's a contrarian script, and now you're going to have access to building a lineup that not very many people will have built. If you're playing a shootout script, you largely want to focus on the quarterbacks and, of course, pass catchers, right? And so in a shootout script, I think that there is going to be a decent amount of ownership tonight on Taysom Hill. He's showing up at 18%. In a shootout script, I don't think you really want to play Taysom Hill. In a shootout script, you're hoping Andy Dalton is just sitting there red rifling it around the field and hitting Olave, hitting Traquan Smith and Marquez Callaway, guys like that, right? And then you want to run it back. You're definitely going to want to have Lamar and probably 1 or 2 of his pass catchers, if not 1 pass catcher and a running back, right? That is a build that not many people will have, right? Especially if you have the nuts to put Andy Dalton at captain. And if you're going to put Andy Dalton at captain, you got to do me a favor and put 2 pass catchers, because the only way Andy Dalton gets there in the captain spot is if he gets 2 pass catchers there. You hope that Baltimore hits a couple big plays early, and then New Orleans is playing from behind, trying to play catch up, and in that you're probably going to see less Taysom Hill, and you're going to see more Andy Dalton passing it all over the place. Those are just some scripts to consider. Don't just go put 6 guys together in a lineup. Put 6 guys that work together in a cohesive lineup together. That's the advice I could give you. Real quick, Lamar and Kamara and Jackson are going to be your 2 smash plays at the captain tonight. Probably Olave to a certain extent. If you have to pick one of those, I would say, Kamara coming off the big game is the only thing that scares me. I'm okay fading Lamar at captain just because of the leverage that I'll get from doing it. I personally like Olave the most. With Landry and Thomas out, Olave, rookies are always notoriously undervalued for what they offer at 8,600 on a showdown slate. I think he's a smash play. I think he can get there in the flex, but he can definitely get there as the captain. Andy Dalton, everybody's scared of Andy Dalton because, well, of the Taysom Hill factor, right? They got Taysom Hill on there, and Taysom Hill, now is you never know when it's going to be the random. He's going to get 30 points 3 times this year, and you just hope it's not one of those nights. So Andy Dalton, if he fits your script, I think is a very viable play. I think the mega donkey chalk tonight is Isaiah Likely. Everybody's just assuming that because Andrews is out, Likely's going to step right in and just be the nuts. Well, you know what? He's not Mark Andrews, okay? And he's not going to get open. He's not going to make every catch, and he's not going to bust 20-yard runs after he catches it. So to me, Isaiah Likely is probably a fade for me. Same thing with Kenyon Drake. Yes, his stats have been looking good recently, but he's also been uber efficient. And to count on Kenyon Drake to keep being uber efficient, I'm out on that. However, please hear me on this. If these guys fit your scripts, you can still get them in there, right? If you like these guys, play them. I'm just telling you as overall plays across, the 20, 30 scripts we could probably come up with. Generally speaking, these guys aren't going to fall into a lot of those scripts that I want. Just simply because of their ownership. Duvernay is also going to be highly owned, but or over-owned relative to what he should be. But at some point, someone has to score other than Lamar, right? Unless you're just playing the Lamar-only script, which I love, right? Lamar at captain, run it back with 5 Saints. No one will have that fucking build. I promise you, brother. Here's where you get into the weeds, right? When you start doing 2 pass catchers with Andy Dalton, I think one of them has to be Olave, and then you're going to naturally want to go pick Traquan Smith or Marquez Callaway. But I'm just telling you, these guys aren't any good. They're not very good. Callaway, you're going to see, oh my God, look at that leverage. I'm just telling you, Marquez Callaway sucks. He's not a good player. If you want a good pass catcher to put with Andy Dalton that's not going to be that owned, I say go with Juwan Johnson. People are going to be scared because Adam Chapman's back, and they're going to be like, oh, he's not going to play anymore. Well, no, he's probably going to play less, but he's still just specifically a pass catcher, so I think he's very viable. You want to go play somebody from Baltimore that no one's going to have? You want to pair up Lamar in a way that nobody else is doing? How about you go pair him up with James Prochet, and how about this one, Justice Hill, right? Just one little screen to Justice Hill to the house. Now all of a sudden you have a really weird Lamar stack. Everybody's going to play Lamar, but at least now you have Lamar paired with somebody that he's not very paired with, and if that guy does catch the screen and takes it to the house, or Prochet catches the bomb over the top or whatever, then now all of a sudden you have Lamar, which isn't going to separate you from anybody, but you have him paired with guys that will separate you from everybody, right? And then now maybe you can go run it back with your Andy Dalton stack, with 2 pass catchers over there, because they're probably going to be playing in a script from behind, which is the only script I can really see Andy Dalton getting there. Okay? Lastly, our defense is viable tonight. Absolutely, they're viable tonight. Both of them are very viable. Both of these quarterbacks are probably going to be in situations where they could easily turn it over. You could always, if you really want to get weird and you want to play Duvernay tonight, consider playing Baltimore's defense, because if he returns a punt to the house, all of a sudden you're doubling up points, right? You're getting the defensive points and you're getting the Duvernay points. That doesn't hit very often, but if you're already playing Duvernay, that could be a tiebreaker to maybe play the defense. Just throwing it out there for you, brother. And then, of course, you can always play the Ravens defense, because Andy Dalton, he's Andy Dalton, right? There's a reason he's kind of old and dust. So I would say this, though. Should you play defenses? The one thing I don't think you should do is play a defense against the opposing team's running back, right? Like, I wouldn't go play the Ravens defense and then play it against Kamara, because usually those two things are anti-correlated, right? Just like I wouldn't play the Saints defense and run it back with Kenyon Drake, because if the Saints defense is doing well, Kenyon Drake is probably not getting lots of touches other than the pass game. And in that, I'm going to just hope that they're throwing more to Justice Hill than they are to Kenyon Drake, because Justice Hill's a little bit more electric than Kenyon Drake, if you don't know. So, my favorite punts tonight are probably Prochet. Josh Oliver is interesting. All you need from him is 3 catches and fall into the box once. Everybody's going to be unlikely, so don't it's going to be Josh Oliver that catches the touchdown? Isn't that just how it works? He's very viable to consider. If I have to choose between Traquan and Callaway, give me Traquan. I think Callaway sucks. But if you're playing a shootout with Andy Dalton, I think you do need to mix Callaway into your receiver rotation with him. My favorite captain play is definitely Chris Olave. And the one guy, normally I do the one guy I'm playing, the one guy I'm not. I'm not going to do that. But I will say the one guy that I will be dramatically underweight on tonight will be Kenyon Drake. I never want to count on efficiency at running back. I like volume, and Kenyon Drake is just not good enough to continue that efficiency at 7,200. So I'll be out on him. Although to say that I'm not going to play him at all would be a fool's errand, because he might fit into some of the narratives. Maybe I'm going to play Baltimore gets ahead and runs the ball. And if I play that Baltimore is going to be ahead and running the ball the whole game, I think a Lamar Drake stack makes a lot of sense in a lineup like that, right? All right, I think that's it. I think that gives you a pretty good idea of the overview you should do tonight. It's all about contest selection and picking a script that makes sense. Also consider building 5 1s and 4 2s instead of always doing 3 guys from one team, 3 guys from the other team, because that is the most common build, and that right there will get you in 270-person trains. Lastly, hey, if you don't know, I will be doing a live stream tonight from my Discord. It's connected through my Patreon. Well over 300 members now. Come sign up, join the party. We're doing very well over there. It's going great. And don't forget to go follow me on Twitter, because now that we're over 5,000, let's go for 10,000. You know what I'm saying, you motherfucker? And if you've watched this long, I know you like the cut of my jib, so help a brother out. Also, tell a friend, because the YouTube algorithm hates me. Get them to subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. And lastly, don't forget to like and retweet my tweet that I'm going to send out probably tomorrow about the 5,000. Going to be doing multiple $100 giveaways just for simply supporting the cause. I appreciate all of you. Couldn't do it without you, specifically the members of my Patreon, those motherfathers. And make sure to be looking out. And leave a comment on this video. Every comment that's on here, I'm also going to get you in the drawing extra, so you can get both. All right, guys? I hope you do well tonight. I hope you kick some ass, and I hope you enjoy my outro.